Time has taught me that parents do the best they can with the light they are seeing with. That is what we all do. I fell out of the womb and landed in my mother's high heels. I honor the sanctity of all religions, I'm not here to put them down. But the only religion that I personally embrace is the religion of kindness. There are many paths to God. What really bothers me, and what I think is the height of arrogance and stupidity, is when one group believes their way is the only way. That really gets my dander up. That's the secret to happiness. Find something you can make money at that you really love to do. One job I did turn down was How I Met Your Mother. My character was creepy gay guy. That was the character. The script said, creepy gay guy gets in elevator every day with Jason Segel character and he's just being creepy. When I was little, I was like a magpie, which is a bird that's attracted to shiny things. They'll build their nests with Christmas tree tinsel. Big Brother has put me off people. I thought, I'm gonna get a dog. I really think I'm going to become more reclusive. It was nothing like I expected. I was so naive about it. I grew up in the Baptist church and, honey, they baptized me about 14 times. It never did take. In the 1980s we had the huge catastrophe of AIDS and you would walk down the street and see someone who was dying. It was horrendous. There are 2 or 3 ways to combat homophobia. One is through humor. The second is to put a face on it. What amazes me with Will and Grace fans is how young they are and how straight they are. The guys always come up and go, "You are so funny on that show." My girlfriend watches that show. All my life I've always been so ashamed of being feminine. I grew up riding. From the time I was 19 years old to the time I was 25 I exercised race horses. In my head I have had the most torrid affairs with actors I have worked with. You should hear what George Clooney and I have got up to. People say, "Oh, you do theater." And I say, "Honey, I do theater to get better TV and film roles." I can tell when I meet you, within 3 minutes, how you were raised. When I met Lady Gaga on the American Horror set, beautifully brought up. Nobody really knows if there's a God, not Oprah, not Joel Osteen, not the Pope. Nobody has touched or felt or conversed with God. They say they have, but let's get real. I think that is what keeps me from coming out as an atheist. I think to myself, even the atheists don't know that there isn't a God. Nobody knows anything. I always thought I'd be good at musicals, and it turns out I make up for my lack of skill with enthusiasm. For years, I had a Christmas ornament I had bought at a Cracker Barrel that read "Deck them halls, y'all." It always tickled me. I'm a true Hollywood success story, knew no one, had no connections. I always call my journey into sobriety, my journey into queerdom, because I really did hate everything about myself. I knew I was as gay as a goose. Then I ended up in West Hollywood, where the queers hang from the trees. I was home. I had landed. I had a degree from the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, where they said, "Mr. Jordan, please learn to pronounce your degree." 'Cause I said I have a degree in theater. You know, you learn that very young in American culture that the feminine boys don't do well. And yet, I had a dad who was a lieutenant colonel in the army. My dad was a man's man, but he still adored me. And somehow in the midst of that, I still grew up hating the sissy in me. I talk about things that happened in my life. Now, do I embellish? Absolutely. Come on, we all do it. It makes for a better story. But it always comes from a germ of truth. My mother and grandmother created this secret garden where it was okay for boys to play with dolls, and it was okay for little boys to sew potholders.